Hey, what's up, peeps? You're listening to the Let Loose with Lou podcast. I'm a full time working woman, mother of 3, and a wifey to one lucky man. My passion is getting to know people, listening to their stories, and learning from their points of view on life. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Let Loose with Lou. What an interesting episode today. I have my co-host with me here, Steve.
What's up, guys? Good to be here.
I also have my co-host, Melon.
Hey, guys.
And I have my 2 guests, Gina. G Money's in the house.
How you doing today?
How you doing today? Are you
Doing
ready
great.
to let loose with Lou?
I'm ready.
All right. And then, of course, we have Tim.
Thank you for having me back.
Oh, God, there is so much that we want to talk about. You let people just mind boggled.
Did I?
You sure did.
Yeah, cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
It was a cliffhanger.
Well, I have more to tell.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get this started, right?
Let's get it started, Lou.
All righty. So, on our last episode with Tim, we left off where, we were talking and getting into the subject of deep relationships.
Mhm.
And you had mentioned you were in an abusive relationship.
I've been in no, what we left off was me wanting a straight man.
Ooh, but why is straight man?
Let me finish. this.
Okay.
Get loose.
Yeah, get loose.
It was about not
You're
me
gonna,
saying
you're gonna
that.
get a straight man loose, all right, if you get a hold of him.
I like to see you
Watch
get a
out.
straight man. That's what I want to see.
Oh, you haven't been there?
I haven't had a straight man. I think they
Not
all.
been there with me.
No, I've never seen you with a straight man. I mean, I didn't know he was straight
Exactly.
because I thought he was gay.
They're not very gay. And let me correct everybody about this situation.
Okay, go right
I
ahead.
have nothing against gay men.
Okay.
First of all, I said I want a man that acts like a man.
Mm.
If I wanted a guy who acted gay or more feminine than me, I might as well get a woman.
Mm.
So that's the difference. It's not about you being straight or gay. It's how you treat Tim. Now, I can't help it if you guys have had certain type of men
Don't go there.
in your lives,
He's going there.
and I can't help
Okay.
if this straight men come on to me.
Mm.
One thing I've learned is it's not about the relationship, it's how the person treats you.
Mm. So you're saying that a gay man cannot treat you as good as a straight man.
That's not what I
Okay,
said.
so come on.
What I said was, I want a man that treats me and acts like a man, not act like
He's gonna act
he's a
like
woman.
Okay, so for an
So
example.
you're using a
Masculine.
word
Yes.
like
You want a more masculine type of man, not flamboyant.
Yeah, because to me, I get confused with people who want to get guys who dress up like girls, or men who want, I call them butterflies.
No, butterflies.
what's
And
a butterfly,
everybody-
Tim?
When you're flying all over the place and you snap your fingers and popping your mouth and switching down the street. What you do in the dark behind your closed door is your business. You don't have to let everybody know, oh, I'm gay and I'm here,
Mhm.
is what I'm saying.
Can we
Now-
back up
So
a
I want
little
to back
bit?
up to the
Yeah.
the language.
Go
like
ahead.
I like what Gina said. I was thinking the same thing as you. Is there's gay, there's heterosexual,
Mhm.
and then there's masculine and feminine. And Gina used the word masculine, which is what I was kind of hearing. Is you can be a masculine gay man.
Mhm.
You can be a masculine straight man.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a feminine gay man. And you can be a feminine straight
Straight
man.
man, yes.
But you're saying, I require a masculine man. It's like the
That's
translation I think that Gina and I are hearing, right? Is like gay or straight needs to be a man for me to feel like I can be myself, which you're saying.
needs
I
to
prefer to
be.
be more in the feminine.
But
Who
it's
he
That's what you're
is.
saying, right?
He needs to be who he is.
but he
just
wants
like-
it straight. man.
Yeah, that's what I'm back
I-
on.
Yeah.
No, so clarify that.
Yeah.
Are you trying to turn a straight man?
No, never that.
Mm.
You
I
want a
can't help it
masculine
if a woman
man.
doesn't know how to treat her man, and he comes on to me.
Oh, back up.
Because to
So-
me, it sounds like, hold it, Melon. What it sounds to me like is like a hater thing. I'm going to say it like that.
He's like, well, we're just trying to get to the bottom of this because everyone's curious about this.
No,
Yeah.
So are you
Oh.
competing?
Per se
Are you
is-
attempting to be like more feminine than like a straight woman?
No, I'm being who I am.
Mhm.
I treat them, and I've asked gay men and straight men what are their attractions to me. And they said, because you treat me how wish my wife or my girl would treat me.
Mhm.
I don't cut them down. You hear a lot of women downrate men instead of uplifting them. If you lose your job, well, damn, you lost your job. Now this is my time to step in and help you at the plate, because that's what a team is supposed to do.
So
Not tell them get the fuck out because you lost your job.
now, are you doing it because you know they're being vulnerable and it's like a prey, kind of like, ooh, he's in his vulnerable state. Let me go ahead and
No, because
Yeah.
I don't sleep with all these men. We're really friends. It's not about me having sex with them. It's not about them touching me, because I've never slept with every man that I've been with.
So then, how do you expect to get into a relationship with the man if you haven't had sex with them?
No, I didn't say that.
Mm.
I said I haven't slept with every man
Mm-hmm.
that I met.
It seems like you're being really specific. So it's
Yeah.
almost like you've been in a situation before and you don't want to be in that same situation. So you know
Right.
exactly what you want.
I know exactly what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just want to go back. Let's go back. You said, and I've heard you say, because I've known you a long time,
Mhm.
that you like to have a straight man, and the straight men come on to you. Now, where my confusion is as a straight woman is, if the man is straight, you're not what he'll be coming after, because you're not a woman, you are a man. So if he's coming after you, he wants a man. He wants to be in that class of gay tendencies. Is that what they want to say? Because gay tendencies still kind of make you gay. So if you're, I mean, what makes the thing gay? Is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? Or is it a word? Is
Emotional or
emotional?
curiosity?
Right, because
because
if
you know
if he's
why?
straight, then he's not straight if he's messing with a man. That takes out the whole straight
Yeah,
game.
I
Period.
agree.
And-
What do you think?
That's backwards what you're saying, Malone. Because I said
Mm-hmm.
I want a man who acts like a man. I didn't say whether he had to be gay or straight.
No.
So
No,
maybe
you
that's what we
did.
didn't know is Tim, what is
No, I didn't.
the behavior that you would like? Like if you're just like, this is a man acting like a man, what is that?
I think it's
Or-
embarrassing, and I am gay. I think it's embarrassing if you go somewhere and somebody brings that much attention to them.
Mm.
I had a friend who said, "Well, I don't think I'm going tonight with you guys, 'cause I don't want that much attention brought to me." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And I had to think.
Mm-hmm. So what are you humming about over there, Solomon?
Well, I just understand his point, that you don't, it's see, I have a different feeling about the whole thing with regard to like what is gay and what isn't gay, but I'm going to let, him tell his point.
And I'm going to give you guys a real good example.
Mhm.
Malone. Me and Malone, we've been knowing each other for years. We went out for lunch,
Mhm.
and the bartender fixed our drinks for us, but he made my shot glass to the rim. When he brought Malone's glass out, she said, "Oh, you didn't give me that much as you gave him." So that was like comparing us with each other, whether she do it or not.
Where was this?
Well,
at?
I was comparing my drink. I wasn't comparing
Same thing.
if he's gay or straight. That's a drink, but that's a little delusional. If you thought a drink made the man was in love with you, because
I
he
didn't
put
say
more.
that. I didn't say
So I don't
that.
understand what you're bringing that up.
Competing
What
in the
I'm
moment?
saying
Were you
is-
competing like
Did you do this?
who's more attractive
No.
to the bartender?
He's asking
You heard what he
you.
said?
And that's not what I said either.
He's asking why you're
I'm asking.
yeah.
Was there a part of you that was like competitive? Like, huh?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I got the better drink.
Yeah.
I'm more attractive
We
than
never
my
said that.
friend.
So
Never said that.
No, I didn't say that.
We're
I'm using
asking.
the line that I'm asking.
Verlon
Is there-
brought it to his attention
mhm.
of course, I bring
and
it to the
said,
bartender.
why is his drink? It's a shot glass.
Mhm.
His was full. Why is my shot glass like this? I said, oh, you see Melon? I said, doesn't mean whether you're straight or not, are gay. I said, now you got to make sure you get the same amount of liquor as I got.
But I don't understand why you brought that up right now because it doesn't have anything to do with
It has
that.
nothing to do with this.
With
Because you know
so I'm
why
trying
it
to
has nothing to
understand.
do
I'm
with
trying
it?
to understand why
Right here.
a shot glass and how much he brought. First of all, he was the waiter, not the bartender, so he didn't pour anything. The bartender
Yes,
brought.
he did.
The bartender poured it.
He
And
poured it and he
brought-
apologized.
But I
and he
still
went and
don't
got you another
understand.
glass.
I still don't understand, Tim. Like Steve said, was that like a comparative that he brought you more liquor because you're fine and he want to get with you, or did he just mistakenly just brought less and gave you more or less? I'm trying to understand
Well, it could
that
be
whole
that with me
rigmarole.
because I never brought it up. I wouldn't have even paid that much closer attention to the glass.
Well,
But
it was
I'm
my
not just-
drink.
exactly.
So of course I'm gonna
And
bring
it was
up.
my drink because he brought me one.
So what are you bringing
What
that
I'm
up
saying
to?
is, and I'm
Uh-huh.
not just saying you, other times that I go out, say if I go to the bathroom or something, and a man turns around and says, oh, I'm sorry. I said, are you in the right place? Other people say, oh, it was the color you had on, instead of saying, okay, because that's their way of looking at it. You can't say what somebody else feels.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. If Steve looked at me walking across the street and he came and did something and licked his lips, the first thing he'll say is, he must be gay. He licked his lips. That's not true.
But if he licked his lips, would you think, oh, he's interested in me?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No.
What
But
would? What
I want to
would-
hear more about the type of man that you're trying to get.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to get,
Yeah, you're saying I want a man who asks
that I'm
man.
going to get.
Ooh.
I like your attitude.
I like it. I like his
I do too.
attitude too.
Who's the
Guess-
man
guess
that you're
why?
going to get?
I'm not
you
going to
just-
settle for less. I watch women settle because they just want to have a man. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit back and say, and I can have a man all day long.
Well, like, I mean, I want you to be descriptive, Tim. I want to like trim the fat, dude. I want to know, like, do you want a man who like changes your tires and buys the dinner and pays the bills? Like, do you want a man that's like, I lift
You're
weights
damn
in the
right.
morning, you know?
I want a
what do you-
man.
like, what is
if
the
my-
what is the behavior and the attitude of the man that you're wanting?
And I have men like that, but we're not together like that.
Because I'm asking you the one that you want.
I want a man who does exactly what this guy does for me, what my other friends do for me. If I can't say my tires on flat, get over here.
But see, this is my question, is that if you have these guys and you're already friends and you know that if they are interested in you, why haven't you built up that relationship with
I
them?
don't want them to be my man
Why not?
Why?
Who is
Exactly
it that
why?
you
because
want?
we're friends.
Who do you want?
They say always marry your best friend.
No. I said I want them to do what my friend does for me. And we're friends. If my friend could do, this is what I think a relationship's supposed to be about. With a man or a woman that's trying to be a man with a woman. A man's job to me is to make sure his wife's car is full at night. She shouldn't have to get up and take care of that. Make sure that everything she needs to be done as far as her car breaking down, any maintenance, I think that's what a man's job is. But with a woman, if your man loses his job, have his back. Because that's what I mean by our relationship.
But see, I don't agree necessarily because there is women that have taken care of their husbands, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this-
So I'm totally in.
I'm saying
disagreement.
about,
But he's talking
People.
about like a very traditional archetypal role where
yeah.
yeah.
the man, the word you're describing that I want to use is providing. Like, I will provide for you. I will
Exactly.
make sure that there's gas in your car and that the oil is changed. I want to provide that
See.
quality versus like a woman in that traditional archetype does nurturing, right? Like, oh, you
Yeah.
got fired. I'll fuck your boss.
Yes.
Let me rub your shoulders. Let's go to dinner.
Exactly.
Fuck
Yeah.
it. Fuck, we're going to dinner night.
Well,
Yes.
that's the
Right.
way
And
it
and
used
is
to be.
and provides
Yeah.
nurturance. And you're like,
Yeah.
I
There
would
are
like to provide that
relationships like that,
nurturance
though.
and
Yeah.
have a man
There
do
are.
this type of
Not many.
providing.
Not many, but
Not
You know
many.
why
This is
there's not many relationships like that?
why?
But that's
If you
the
got people who come at their spouse the wrong way,
well,
'cause
maybe
they're
sometimes the
looking at the
spouse ain't the right
situation.
way. I mean,
Well,
and
to
listen,
me, you do
listening to
that.
you, you're talking on the one side.
No.
I've been married 3 times.
Mhm.
I've been married 3 times, and trust me, being married is a job. You could sit on the outside and say, "Oh yeah, well you can just be this and that," but being married is a job. And sometimes that man, no matter if you want Prince Charming ain't around. Not now, because everybody's broken, everybody's hurt. So good luck to him. If I'm as a woman can't even find a man that wants everything that you're saying, because we want the same thing.
Right.
Exactly.
And here we are, and we're busting our butts, and we're working hard, and then we get these little losers that walk up that don't even know how to change a tire. So I don't really know what world you in, because most of them can't change a tire. Don't
So,
even know
but
how to
Malone, like,
change
so
a
But guess
windshield wiper.
what?
you want what he's describing.
And
Don't we
you're knocking
all?
them
I think
down.
Think about it. Yeah.
Don't
what
we all?
Aren't you, Gina?
What
Don't
is
you
it?
want a
So,
man, man?
how about let me loop Malone in a little bit more. Like, so what is the behavior or like the atmosphere of the man that you want?
Well, the same thing what Tim is talking about in regards, and yes, I think most of the men have turned gay. Truthfully, not knocking anything. And it's not because of the woman. They're gay because they don't want to work. A relationship is work. If you get a gay man that wants a man like that, he's going to deal with the same thing as a woman that deals with that same thing.
Bingo.
So it's not you do this for me. You do all that, and he's still going to cheat on you.
That's right.
Probably with another woman.
Preach it, girl.
So he'll be cheating on you with a woman, coming home for you to cook him
That's
dinner,
right.
change your tire and everything. Then what?
Yep.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with it, and that's
No.
okay. But I'm experiencing it.
Most people, you might be experiencing it because you're accepting it.
No, I don't accept.
I'm not going to accept it. When you with somebody, it only take you 3 months to figure out this person you're with.
See, but this is my thing, Tim. You're not accepting it, and where is it getting you?
Oh, it's about to give me exactly what I want.
Okay. What do you?
Because I know who I am. Then I didn't know who I was. And I was just accepting anybody who said, "Oh, you look good. Oh, your butt like this," and come over for a second and then leave. I got it today. You can't do that to me today. So there is a difference. And I'm going to get a man that is a man. And he don't have to have thousands of dollars in his pocket. No. But he better be able to talk to me to make me feel like I can go make $1,000 and put it in the pocket to make the household grow.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't even have to have the money. It's about conversation. Your conversation can be a business
So-
mind.
So my ex-husband, he knew how to change the tires, windshield, everything. Like he knew how to fix cars, but he had no drive to get further work-wise. Like he just didn't have a drive. I stood in that relationship for almost 15 years with 2 children. And guess what? I worked and double worked, sold Princess House and sold Avon and still hustled.
You
Okay.
know what happens? He knew you was that type of woman.
So the guys are going to know you're that type of man.
No,
Period.
I walk away
And guess what I did? I walked away too.
after 15 years.
Exactly. Because I married the man. I had 2 children.
That
I
was
think
kinda-
sometimes when you don't walk away, it's because you do have responsibility, and she's not being selfish to walk away and just get her needs. She's thinking about her family and then setting herself up. I've known Lou for a long time, and she's always been a strong woman. She knows what she wants, and she has the relationship she wants.
Of course,
she's
it's hard.
Okay.
It's
Well,
hard to
look.
walk away because you want to always make excuses, and this is
Yeah.
what a lot of people do. And then we all go into that delusion.
Yes.
The delusion is it's going to get better if I just stay. It's going to get better. It's going to get better until it snaps and you wake up.
So
Yeah.
true. So let me ask you a question. How many abusive relationships have you been in? How many?
One.
Okay, how bad was it?
It didn't get to where they physically
Okay.
It almost did.
Okay, when it was almost, how bad was almost?
I lost my job behind it
Because why?
because they wouldn't let me out the house.
They wouldn't let you out the house.
Yes. And I worked
See-
for U.S. Customs. By the time I got back there, they said I had bad at my job.
And how long were you in that relationship for?
8 years.
8 years. Okay, come on. You didn't doubt
it
8 years worth of timing?
No, because guess why? It started off wonderful.
Uh,
He was the
exactly.
provider.
Always starts off one.
It
Right.
always starts.
It always starts off-
Bingo! Right?
It never really starts
Yes.
off bad.
Trust me,
And then what
I'm-
happened? So
I'm old enough to know that one.
his behavior became very violent and controlling.
And you know why?
Uh-huh.
why?
Because I started being controlling.
Mm.
I started trying to make more money and start telling him how to get the money.
So two alphas couldn't
He wasn't.
take it.
When I first met him, I'm the one that made him who he was.
Mm.
He became the provider.
Mm-hmm.
He sold real estate because I put him in school for it. He had friends that were weak friends because he was younger than me. And to this day, I still say, I wonder what if.
But you know what you said right now?
Nice and loud.
You know what you just said? You just said, because I put him through school.
That's right.
Now, to me, the people I date and the people that I have dated,
Mm-hmm.
I've never had to do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
They were already self-efficient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not attracted to that. You got to be self-efficient. You got to be a provider. And you got to make me equal or better than you because you got to bring me up.
Exactly. And
I
how
can't
about
bring
your
you up.
past relationships? Were you like that?
I learned a lot of lessons from I was married when I was 18 and I had gotten pregnant and it was a high school sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned a lot. And still, he was like very motivated. I didn't have to tell him, he did it. I was very motivated. I've always been motivated. It didn't work out. And every man that's came in after that has always been like self-sufficient, brought me one step up, one step up, one step up. I've been brought up so high now, I can't even think about teaching or bringing someone. I can't teach
Like
somebody.
babysit a man.
I can't babysit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't babysit.
Exactly.
I know my worth. I don't have a lot of time.
Exactly.
I don't have
He should be
a
at
lot
equal.
of patience.
Mhm. Agreed?
I can honestly say I don't think I'm better than anybody, but they have to be just as stable as me, if not better, because they have to take care of me. You know what you want,
And that's
and
where I'm
and
at.
and you know what you want, and you know whether the feminine or you're gonna do this or do that for me. I mean, it'll all work once you know what you want and you know your worth. You're gonna find people that are going to be on your path in that right direction. You're going to meet a lot of losers and you're going to meet a lot of people that will give you the world. So they say at the beginning, but you definitely, you got to give it more than 3 months. You say you'll know somebody in 3 months. You might know somebody,
You
but
don't
it's
know
not
anybody
them.
for 2 years.
I say a
Representative.
whole year. Like I say a whole year I have to at least
But
spend
when
with
you
somebody.
when you want to be with someone, guess what?
You're going to make
This
excuses.
is the truth. You don't see signals. You don't see
Yeah.
anything.
You're blinded.
You make excuses for
it's
everything
true.
they do.
That's
Oh, well,
right.
maybe.
flags,
Oh, well,
yeah.
let me help them out.
Or this would be the last time.
And especially if you're a helper, because Tim, you're a helper. You're a Pisces, so you want to help people do good.
You're gonna
so
coddle them.
that's going to be one of your downfalls because you want to help somebody. So if you see somebody, you want to help them, and then the help your help is actually really real, but they're looking at
opportunity.
here's
take advantage.
opportunity, and I'm going to take this advantage because you are looking for love, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking for love. I'm probably looking for it in the wrong places, but they remember energy. People sense, even people that are tricksters. They look for that weak spot, and then they'll come like a wounded dog because they know you're going to come and give them some food and nurture them and think he's going to love me for this. And then that's not what his ideology is. He just wants to use you. So been there, done that. I get it.
Just be careful and just know your worth. and know that you're not here to take care of somebody. You're here to meet somebody that is compassionate and giving you all that. You already said what you want. If you don't see that in the first couple of dates, you need to move on.
So
Let me ask you guys a question.
Well-
I'm thinking about like, what is this show about? And I'm kind of making up my answer to that question. One of
I
my-
don't know.
Well, I have some thoughts, but one of the questions I have is like each of you have been in relationships in which you're starting to share about traits that you discovered later, like, oh, this is not a good trait of a partner, right, or a trait of a man.
Mhm.
Like, what would you say your like the top 3 discoveries were? Like, oh, these traits are, immediate dismissal. Like, I can't have that. I can't have that in a partner.
Who are you asking? All
I'm
of-
asking you all. Each of
Yeah.
you like had different relationships. Like,
jealousy,
jealousy,
negative about
just negativity across the board,
and insecurity. Those are major.
insecurity.
But there's a lot. I have a lot on my
Okay,
list
all
now.
right.
I'm old enough to have a lot.
But those are like top 3.
If you're negative, it's such a turnoff. If you're jealous, I can deal with that because it does exist, but to the
Overly.
point, overly to the point where I have to always, make excuses. Like,
that's when you know.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
yeah.
How about the rest of you? Top negative traits that you've encountered? You're like,
Um,
I can't have that in a relationship.
Liar,
Yeah.
not truthful.
Yeah.
Someone that is all about themselves. They're egotistical and selfish altogether, and someone that's not a team player.
Right.
Yeah, that's
those are
a
good
good
ones.
one.
Good
Game
ones.
over.
But the big thing for me, and I know this is like, I should say get along with my family or important things, which I do think about, but they just got to enjoy life and have a good sense of humor. If I'm going to live with you for the rest of, my life, you got to make me happy and laugh, and I could be able to call you and
No one can make you happy.
Well,
You gotta
I
make
know,
yourself
I know.
happy.
I know
you
it. I
like-
said
you
that
like
wrong.
A sense
Yeah.
of humor.
You got to have a
Add
good
You gotta have
your
some
happiness.
like kind of
Yeah.
be able to be lighthearted.
Because I'm like a fun person, and I'm outgoing, and I like to do concerts, and I set up parties and
good
do everything, and restaurants. I'm
Yeah.
a foodie. I like to travel. So if he can hang
Her
on
phone
the
number
ride,
is 555.
he's got to be on board with
5,
what
6.
I want. And
555.
and I've had people say I can keep up with you, but they can't. They can't.
Tim, what is your 2, 3
What are your
strikes?
this is like the negative traits that you've encountered. There's no go.
From the gut, you need to say it.
Thanks for going there.
I think he's in a lot of
Thanks
pain.
for going there,
He
Tim.
is.
He's in a lot of pain.
And it's not really a relationship.
Mm.
Everybody seems to forget their upbringing. And I don't never want to go through what my mother went through.
Mm.
That's what people seem to forget. You watch your parents, you see the struggle they went through, but you deny and you start thinking about just you. It didn't start from just you. It started from seeing your mother and the man who's your father go through abusive things, and you want your household to be better. Just like when I got my kids, I never wanted my kids to go through what I lived like.
Can you explain
Yeah.
what you went through? Do you have a good relationship with your father?
Or just even like just saying sharing like what
Just
you're doing. Like
period.
that you saw your parents,
My
you saw
mother
your
didn't
mother
care
get
about it.
abused.
She didn't care about a beautiful home. She didn't care about the furniture. I said I don't never want to live like I did as a child. I watched my mother go through it in her marriage.
What did she go through her marriage that hurt you?
Everything.
Mhm.
Okay, can you
Like-
explain?
And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
No, you're
No, it's
not.
I had the
unfortunate.
same
It's
thing.
unfortunately common. But what were those specifics that you?
The specific thing is to know that back then your parents had to do certain things to stay with the man and know that he had another woman 3 blocks down
Wow.
or one next door, and you accept it. So a lot of relationships that I had, I sabotaged them. And my thing was, if I just buy you this, if I do this, and if I do that, you'll treat me the way I want to be treated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Were you close to your mom? Very close.
Yes.
Were you close to your dad?
That's what he's carrying, the mother's pain, because he was so like connected.
And to
I see
watch your
exactly. Yeah,
sisters
I see exactly.
and
where
your
he's coming from.
brothers go through the same thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize as a kid, my mother would make me stay with and hang around my sister that I didn't want to. And yesterday was her anniversary of death.
Mm.
We were a year apart.
His sister.
Mm-hmm. That passed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring
Some
it
people see her, they would always look at her and think she was me.
Mm.
So I've always had the challenge of somebody saying,
Mm-hmm.
we were twins, but we weren't. And they thought I was a girl.
Mm.
So as I got older, I went through the same thing.
So you
Which
think-
was what?
I got blamed by friends and family members that, oh, you want my man. No, your man wanted me. And I told him no.
So let me understand something, Tim. Your father was unfaithful to your mother, and your mother endured those
To
betrayals.
make sure she took care of her family.
To stay with the family, she endured these
she
betrayals.
accepted those
She
betrayals?
accepted that. We
Yeah.
used to have to go sit
And then
and wait for them to do whatever they did. I hated him to get money to take care of us.
I don't
Hated
understand.
your father?
I did.
What were they doing for money? To
Come on.
prostitution?
My mother was never a prostitute.
Mhm.
What are you saying?
If your parents were parents and they were married and they stayed down the street and you came in the house and you walked down the street and you went in the room, left your kids on the couch, it's obvious they had sex and then he paid her the money. My mother was never a prostitute.
So there was
Oh.
another
My mother
woman that
had-
came in.
No other
Nope.
woman came in.
So I'm confused.
I'm not
I don't
understanding
know why
where
we're
the
confused.
transaction of money
I'm
is
quickly
happening.
much saying it. Caprente.
Caprente.
If somebody is married, my mother was married to him,
Mhm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and we stayed down the street from each other.
Who stayed down the street
I'm
from each
getting
other?
to that.
Yeah, because we're confused.
Thanks,
I don't
Tim.
know why. If I was married to you,
Mm-hmm.
but we stayed in two separate households,
Right.
Mm.
Okay, got it. Okay.
and he wanted to have sex,
Right.
Okay, got
you
it.
better come down here and do this to get the money.
Ah.
I'm the only one. I was that smart of a kid to know what was going on.
Okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
So to endure that as a child, I worked since I was 12. I gave my mother everything
So you worked you were 12 because you didn't like what was going on with
because
her.
I wasn't going to make it like that.
You're
I was
just
never going to have
trying
to
help your
ask
mom.
anybody for anything.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 21, I paid half my mother's rent. And before my mother died, she stayed with me. So my mother was my,
Your rock. You loved her.
So
And
was
you
your
did
mom and your
everything for
dad
her.
married or no?
I know it's hard to talk about it.
can we rewind this tape again? I said my mother was married to to that man.
Uh-huh.
It w-
Why do you call him that man?
I was just gonna say you seem very
because
angry.
he hates
no
him.
respect for
That's
him.
why
Yeah,
he
doesn't
calls
have
him that
respect for him.
man.
But
What was that, Solomon?
Because he hates him. That's why he calls him that man.
Well, the
Well-
hate's a very strong word. So
I do
Doesn't
hate
res-
him.
you hate him.
And if we're listening to this live the way we should, I've discussed this before.
Okay.
He wasn't really, and I let my mother take that to the grave.
Okay.
Mhm.
That wasn't really my dad.
oh,
Oh shit.
And I knew it.
Is it because
Wow.
the way he treated you growing
No,
up?
it wasn't.
Why?
I know the
Wow.
difference between, you know the difference between how somebody treats the kid.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He treated me different, but he gave me everything. I was always one of those kids that observed everything.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Even when I said when I was out there and nobody's never raped me.
mm,
Nobody never molested me.
mm-hmm,
Now, pervertedly, the man was older than me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We've already done it.
We've
Well,
done it,
but
yeah.
we didn't get into it.
Actually, we did.
Yay.
But that's why you're so
Yeah.
specific on what.
Yes.
That's why I'm rewinding everything
Yes.
back.
Yes.
May I say something, Tim? I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I want to say something when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I want to understand something. I think what you're saying is very powerful and very important, which is that
Right.
your father was this abusive, unfaithful, adultering,
Yes.
manipulative
Drunk.
person who made your mom have to.
My mother never drank
But he was like, if you want the money, you got to come down here and perform.
like most parents did.
But that
And
wasn't his father.
yeah,
That
and it
wasn't
wasn't your
his
father, and so
But he
you,
didn't know that I knew that.
and so that was very injurious
Get
to
it right
you.
now.
How did you know though? Did you?
Because I was a kid that knew I'm very observant or anything.
Did you ever ask?
But doesn't this
him?
make sense? Like,
I just
yeah,
said I
doesn't this
let
make
my mother
sense?
take it to her grave.
Oh, got it. Mm-hmm.
But to me, it just makes so much sense around like when you said a little bit about like I would sabotage relationships, I would do these
I
different
would.
things.
Yes.
It
That's
makes
what
so
I'm
much sense, right? Like
Yes.
you
'Cause what he
saw
went through.
such
He went through a lot.
betrayals
Mhm.
and a mom who you loved and that you became kind of like a
And-
partner to, a companion to, not just a son, but like I'm gonna make sure that you don't have to endure
You don't get
this.
hurt. Yes.
I'll work for you, and
And
right, it's
that is-
very noble
Mm-hmm. Oh.
of a
And I'm the
son.
only one out of all the kids.
It's very noble of you,
Okay, she knows.
and
that.
I
She
get
knows
why
you're
like
right.
where you're gonna be
And to this day,
thoughtful about who you're gonna invest
they
your
all
time in.
treat me so different.
Your siblings.
Yes.
Are you angry about that, or is that okay? Or
Now,
I'm angry about it when they only come when they need something.
and when you say different, is it because they know you're a half sibling, or
They
because
don't
you were?
even know.
Oh, they don't know.
No.
I'm the baby.
Oh.
Mm.
Do
And
you
I've always taken care of them as well.
do you know who your real dad is?
He's deceased too.
so your mother
my
had like a
uncle.
relationship.
Your uncle?
Yes.
Uncle on what side?
It happens everywhere. My story is not the only one.
Oh no, we know that.
Yeah.
That's-
No, 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 no.
But what we're
But-
surprised and shocked that it was your uncle.
Why?
Well, because now we know you, and it's just surprising that I know you. I've known you a long time, and
I
this
was
is
the
all
baby.
shocking to me.
And because I don't.
No, I know.
So, God, this is so sad and hard.
It's so deep.
It is.
And there's a lot of different
And I'm
avenues
so
that he's going
yeah.
through.
You need to take
And
a
that
pause
pain-
for a minute. You okay?
It's a lot.
And I'm so sorry because this is where his pain comes from. When you say I am who I am repetitively,
Right.
repetitively, that's where the pain's coming
That's-
from.
Because I mean, I was raised kind of not in a home with my father being an alcoholic, beating my mother up, very abusive. I didn't know that because he would send us out and be the nice guy and say, "Oh, here, go hang out with your friends or your uncles or your aunts." And then I'd come home and I'd see my mom on the floor, and I would see that he cracked her ribs or
Ooh.
he hit her or he beat her, and I started resenting my father
Mm.
and sticking up for my mother, and we had it all. We had everything back in the 80s and the 70s, even all the way up until my mom couldn't take it anymore, and my mom just one day he went to work and we all we packed up the house in one day and moved, and my dad came home. He said, "Where are you guys at? We're gone."
So
And that
you
was
guys-
the way that they ended their relationship. But still, to this day, I always had a hatred towards my dad. And then he picked up the pieces really easy right after they divorced. And he married this woman that tried to take, everything that my mom inherited, well, made together with my father, built together with my father. There was a lot of craziness. But I was angry for a long time. And I drank a lot, very, very, heavy to cover my pain. But also, I got pregnant young. I got married fast, thinking that was going to be a good thing for me. And But I never wanted my kids to grow up the way that I grew up. I was constantly moving.
Gina,
moving,
do
moving.
you think that experience as a kid informs men that you selected as partners in adulthood, or do you see that as different?
Yeah. I do.
You see it as related.
I see that I fell in love with, two men in my life that kind of simulate my dad. It's kind of scary.
It happens.
And I was like,
it
what the
does.
hell am I doing? I stood with them the longest. And now I don't want that. I don't want that. I want the opposite of
You
my
want to
dad.
break that?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot. I know for sure that people as they grow up, that what stem from when they are young is what they actually look for unconsciously,
Mhm.
and they end up with that person,
Right.
and they're trying to fix that person, thinking they're fixing their dad's
Absolutely.
their situation when they were children. So I get that. I see it. And, it's something that's hard to break. It's like a curse that
It's
it's
cursed.
hard to break until you actually snap out of it.
And
I
Dominic.
can give you a little psychology on
Yes,
that.
and
I
I
just
do
did.
want that, but
Do you want to go first, and then I can
Yes. Yeah,
I
I
think
can
she
bring
does.
some psychology to this.
So it's something that our previous guest, Dominique, said you got to break that chain, right?
And
Right,
she has the book.
Dominique?
And she has the
And
book.
she has the book.
Right,
You gotta-
Dominique?
Dom-
Breaking the
She's
chain.
all,
My
you got
glass
to
is
break
empty.
that chain, and it's sad because,
Sorry,
I
Dominique.
see that
Tired.
pain in there, Tim.
But you know the difference of it is, my goddaughter's going through that right now.
I'm sorry, repeat that
My
again.
goddaughter's going through that. And I always said, she told me I was being a hater.
Mm.
I said, no, I just don't want to see
Mm-mm.
you go through that. Her father passed behind the cars. Now, the difference between our story,
Mm-hmm.
my mother was never beat,
Sorry.
Mhm.
but her
Oh.
mother beat her.
Mm.
So, as that age, back where they come from, you had to be with a man to take care of you.
Right.
So you took a whole bunch.
She took it for a long time.
Yeah. And
And that hurt you a
she
lot.
had another guy on the side, and he was accepted for it as long as he slept with her still and paid the money. He didn't care. But it bothered me.
Made
And
you
that's
angry.
why when people say with men, some men I did stuff on purpose just to prove a point. Sound like how they were treating their women.
That I was gonna say, is that where it stems from? Because when you said, I want a
I
straight
want a
man,
relationship.
so did he want to sabotage that straight man because
No.
he knew subconsciously what that straight man wanted, right?
That wasn't,
No?
that
Okay.
wasn't me. I'll say it like this. I want a man who acts and treats me the way he's supposed to, and treat me like a man is supposed to treat his compassion. Not him being gay, whether he be straight.
Well,
If a straight
I
man
only
comes
said
on to
straight
me,
because you said you want a straight man.
I want a man that acts like a
Like a
man,
straight-
and that's a straight man.
Okay, let's get that clear,
Yes.
because I've always heard you say
Yes.
that you wanted a straight man, and that has always threw
I
me
said I
for
want a
a
Yes.
man that's
loop.
gonna
Yes.
come to me 6'2" and throw his legs up, talking about uh,
Melon,
kidding?
Melon is visioning that.
Yeah, there it is. I want that.
and there's a lot of that going on.
But
You guys want a little psychology on this? I wanna,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I want to.
Let's
There's
do
a lot
it.
of stuff that's like I can share about this.
Let's do it.
One is I'll just say again is like you're really describing the mature masculine. You're trying. You're just you're
I
wanting
wanna
a
be
man
masculine.
to be a man to be devoted in love and how he treats you.
hmm
Right. And that I hear, and I hope that you find that and that you get that.
It
Because
makes me feel good
that's
when
important.
one of my friends that took me to the bank, and I couldn't walk for 8 months. And this guy was going to the bank, and my friend was sitting there, and the guy waited for me to come to the door, so he was on a cane.
Mhm.
He said, "Was I supposed to get out the car?" I said, "Most definitely, you was supposed to get out the car. You was supposed to be a man. Don't ever do that again. I'm gonna find that guy." And he said, "I really feel bad." He said, "Because that man really looked at like, how dare you let them do that to you?" But I notice I see people that's older and women and men do this for me. They'll hold the door up for me and they could be on the walker. Today a lady was on a walker and I had my walker because my legs was bothering. I said, she's old enough to be my grandmother. Some people are really still nice today. But I don't want to have anybody in my surroundings to feel like they're torturing me, whether it be a man or a woman. And I know when a woman is treating me a certain kind of way, and that's called a hater.
Mhm.
If you know I'm in pain, don't make me do something just because you're trying to prove a point.
Mhm.
So I want a man who acts like a man. He doesn't have to be straight. He doesn't have to be gay. He could be straight and he could be gay.
We call that a bisexual.
I was gonna
Likes
just
both.
say.
Well, I'm just saying
Yeah.
he could be bisexual, but he has to be bisexual just with me.
I understand.
Yes,
that.
I'm not trying to share anybody. So if I see a man, we'll use Steve, and if Steve was available and came after me, I would watch his every move that he did before I would say any move. And if I was interested, I'd make you want to be with me.
Mm.
You would what?
Make you want to be with me.
How would you do that?
Because I know exactly what to do without even touching you.
Okay, can you
You want my
elaborate?
se-
Elaborate.
Sounds like that sounds like magic.
Okay, wait,
Potions,
Elaborate.
spells.
Seriously, yeah.
Magic.
Oh, Lord.
Because if
It's-
he says no, unless he's drunk,
Oh, I'm not gonna. No. Let's back it up
Mhm.
because I never put my hands on anybody. One of my friends had came to say we was friends for 17 years, and he says, "Tim, you know what?" He started having feelings for me, and I said, "Oh no." He said, "We're gonna be friends like Chucky Francis." And I said, "When I move, you'll never know what I'm saying," and I had to do that because he became to be different with me. He said, "You make men like you, and then you turn them off." It's not that I make them.
Well,
like me.
I actually, I'm just gonna stop you on that.
Mhm.
Anybody who develops that closeness with people if they're around them and they have in
That
the
confidence.
that chemistry, not even sex, just chemistry. You start like like even Solomon, I start liking him. Even Steve, I start liking him.
Even me, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
even
Even-
Steve.
even me.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're hanging around each other, you're learning each other,
Right.
and yeah, you will start liking that person as a friend,
Mhm.
and that's probably as far as it may go.
He wasn't trying to just be my friend. Melon.
I'm not talking about him. I'm just explaining because
No,
you
I'm
said
saying what
that.
Steve said to me.
uh,
How would I make him do that? What
How
would
you make
I do?
Steve do it?
Yeah.
Because you hang around with him.
And then Lana said, "What would you do?"
Yeah, what would you do to change his mind if his mind is so adamant?
And you know why my friend became like that with me?
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
I was treating him the way he wanted his women to treat him. And they did.
So that's what would change a straight man to think being bisexual.
We never slept with each other, though.
So you mind fucked him.
I guess.
Point blank.
And he said to me, he says, "You know what?" He told his women, "Don't ever disrespect him. If you do, you're gonna have to deal with me."
So you said you treat. Let's go back on that. You treat him the way he wants to be treated. The women aren't treating him. What does that mean?
What are those behaviors?
I don't-
Yeah, what is that?
I don't
What is
say
Break it
you're
down.
a loser. You ain't shit.
Well,
you're a
if you were in a
bum.
relationship and you were acting like a loser, I'm sure if he started doing that, you probably would say the
Well,
same.
guess what?
But if it's
They
something
should
new,
have thought about that before they got with him, because he named every one of his kids his name.
Well, maybe he was good
Until
for
he
that.
yeah, maybe
He
that's
was-
all he was good
Well,
for.
that means they were the losers.
Not necessarily. Because
If any
now,
woman get a man,
He could have been playing the funk real good.
he didn't have to.
period.
He could have been playing them.
he didn't have to do that.
So your
I
move,
see
though,
what he
your
was
your
doing.
move is to give that man the experience or traits of like the ideal woman, or what I would call
I uplift him.
or what I would call like the feminine power.
I give him the
So
motivation.
you lied to him.
No,
Girl,
we're friends.
Well, which
I motivated him.
You motivated him because he has a woman at home that he fucked over, and now he's coming to you, and now you're telling him, "Oh, you know what?
I'll
Fuck her.
take you back
She ain't
again."
worth nothing."
It all
So you giving all
starts
that. That's what
from
the
your
side woman does.
childhood.
So he had issues growing up
Yes,
that
he did.
stems from it. So do you think he was?
He was so good, he fucked a psychiatrist at 15 years old.
We all look.
Male or female?
It was a female.
It's like
Oh.
So let's keep it 100.
So you're
Let's
okay,
want to go there.
So let me ask you something. If he was 15 years old and he fucked his psychiatrist,
Yeah.
he already knew what fucking was. So he was
Yeah.
already used to it. So where did that bad or habit come from?
That means you seen somebody else fucking.
So he saw somebody or was someone fucking him?
Nobody went fucking him.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Then how did he know how to fuck?
If you see somebody else fucking, you gotta learn if your parents
Nobody
allowed to
just
let
fucking.
you. If your parents let you watch porno
Mm.
and think it's okay, it's okay. Your childhood, people getting high with their kids today.
That's today, but we're talking then.
It's the same.
Mm.
What do you think about that? Because okay, so let me
This didn't just start overnight.
So let me back up a little bit because when you said you were 15 years old and you knew you wanted this 35-ish year old man, right?
I was younger than that.
You were, God damn it, Tim, you were
Were you
younger.
12?
What were you, 12?
I was about like 11.
Okay, at 11, how?
Wow.
Just explain to me.
I knew he was a pimp.
Okay, but
And I grew up, how I learned how to grow up, I learned from pimps, prostitutes, and hoes. That's how I learned how to make my money. I
But-
just switched them in different positions.
okay, but at 11 years old, where were you taught that? Where?
Nobody taught me anything.
So just pimps and hoes were just hanging out in your front living room
I'm a block, yeah.
on your block. So you
I grew up
you
on
were
11th
you were
Street.
watching them and,
I watched
and
every
picking
move.
up their moves and then making your own moves.
Yes.
Mm.
And so at 11, you started working your moves for this older
I
35.
sent my cousins and told them to go to school. I forgot something.
But what interests you in him? Because obviously this man
I
was a
knew.
predator. He was a predator.
He was, but
He was
back
a
then I didn't
pervert.
know what that was.
But he was a
I know today what it is. That's why.
he's a Chester molester.
Yeah.
Because at 11 years old, and this
Yeah.
mother effer was 30 something years
That's
old.
a
He was
lot.
grooming your ass at 11 years old.
He didn't touch my ass.
Mm? Well, what did he touch?
Remember, he said that he didn't allow anyone to touch him.
I didn't do
He
that until I
ate-
was 21.
So, okay, you didn't there was no touching. So what was there, fondling?
Yes.
I fondled him.
You fondled him.
'Cause you
So
learned it from
that
the pimps and the
pervert
hoes.
allowed you to
I
fondle
know what a
him.
dick is. I got a dick.
I mean, everybody have
I
one, but
pulled his dick out and I knew what to do with it, but I didn't let
11 years old,
nobody
I didn't know what to-
I didn't let nobody
I didn't
come
know.
in my mouth.
Yeah.
I thought it was the nastiest thing in the world.
You let him do it now?
No.
Oh.
Do I know how to suck a good dick now? Yeah. Have I told people how to do it? Yeah. Have I told a man that I can make him come within 2 minutes? And he said never? Yes. What's next?
He's all snappy,
was
snap,
nice.
snap. It
Let me
just
tell you something.
it just boggles me at 11 years old that you
this,
know all
I'm going to
this.
say this, and this is true facts.
Okay.
A lot of women get mad at gay men, but I don't know why. They got an asshole just like I do. Now, whether you keep talking about, oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, this nasty. I had one friend tell me, and women, not all women, squirt.
Mm-hmm.
She said, oh, that's nasty. I want to say, girl,
Do you know the meaning of a woman squirting?
I used to think it was piss. I ain't got a pussy. I know.
Tell him.
Now, can a man come out of his ass if he know what he's doing? Yes.
That's called shit, right?
No, it's not called shit.
I was like, wait.
It's called hitting the G spot.
I know
You
nothing.
never-
Obviously, I went to the wrong school.
I mean, did you
I
ever
know
get-
nothing.
Have you had a man go in your ass and you shit it on? Is that what happened? Malone?
Remember, Melon said you need enemas.
No, you don't.
You gotta have enemas.
No, you don't.
You have to clean the pipes.
No, the pipe should have already been cleaned.
I don't know because I already have another hole. I don't need to use that one.
Well, see, that's the problem.
Why do you think? So, Seymour, like, why do you think that some women get? What did you say? Like,
They want to
not
call
a
the
gay
man
man.
gay because he go for their butt.
They haters.
Because they don't
That's-
want.
They want to go for their butt off, so they gotta say, "Oh, he's gay." No, he just wants something tighter than your pussy. Is what it is. I'm sorry.
Or maybe he's just too little.
Or maybe he is gay.
No, I mean he's too little because he.
I
Can't
know
go
if you
up
went
in-
to jail,
in
came
there.
out, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
That's something else I wanted to say.
This
Yes.
turned the corner real.
A lot of people that
God-
get into these relationships, a lot of straight men play a lot of tricks on people in jail to have somebody take care of them when they're in there. When they get out, it's a total different story. But if you're not a strong person,
How do you know this, Tim?
how do I know?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I
Go on
know
and tell
somebody
it.
that happened to.
Okay. How
And
close do
when
you
the
know
ch-
this person?
I know them very well. I know the other person,
Mhm.
but that other person is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by straight men trying to play something, and when somebody catches them in it,
So let me ask you a
They
question
gotta
out of
cover it up.
curiosity.
You're very interesting.
He
You should have
is.
done a whole segment on just him and
We
brought us
have.
back next week.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
this
he's
is like
great.
the third one.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
this is yes. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever dated a person incarcerated?
I sure have. I knew him before he went to jail.
Wow.
Had he come out after 23 years?
What was your attraction
can't even
to
face
a
me
man
to
that
this
was, that
day.
was like a criminal? I assume
never
that he was.
judge people.
Okay, so I don't care about your judgment. What I care about is that your attraction, your attraction.
He
to a
wasn't
man
like that when I
became-
met him.
What were you attracted to in this man?
I never knew he was like.
Was he good looking and funny?
Well,
Is he
guess what?
charming?
I
Did
had
he
my
buy
own
you dinner?
business. I had my own business at 19.
Mm-hmm.
And me and his
So you were
sisters were
young.
friends. And he used to come to my shop to make sure that I got home safe, and I never paid any attention to that because that's who I was. And as he got older, he went to jail. I didn't know why, but this guy would still try to call me. I wouldn't answer the calls. I wouldn't write no letters. And I just came out and said, "Are you attracted to me?" And he said, "Yeah." And he won't come around me to this day because he got a woman, but I get it. He don't want her to meet, not because of the fact of he calls her bitches and hoes and things like that, because he likes me too much.
Mm.
His whole family knows me. His sister wants to be with me. I said, I don't want to be with that.
Mm.
Because any man who disrespects a woman and calls her out of her name a bitch and a hoe, I don't have no respect for him.
Well, I'm a little confused because you were saying that you get the men and you treat them right. They leave the woman. So the woman that they were with was not treating them right. Obviously, they probably had
I
some
said,
type of
not
arguments
all
or stuff.
women. I said not
And they
all
probably, some
women.
bitches and hoes probably came out the mouth. And then they come to you and now you're treating them like they want to be treated.
I
Well, now that's
said not-
contradictive.
No, it's not, baby.
Yes, it is, sweetheart.
You acting like I said every man did.
I didn't. I'm trying to get, I'm confused
I'm
because
making you not get confused.
I want
Ooh,
you to,
this is getting
I
hot.
want
What
you
do
to
you-
straighten
I
up. with
said-
Caliente?
We
What
only
I
have a
said
couple more minutes for
was-
this too. We're gonna get to
This is
Go ahead,
what I
Gina.
said.
Hold that thought,
No,
Tim.
no. I don't.
So
have-
wait, hold this thought because we need to finish. We need to wrap this up because it's getting too caliente right now, right?
It's getting a little caliente.
Ooh, we're gonna have to come back for part 4.
Y'all
on
got to
this.
come back.
You're gonna have to come back, and you're gonna have to remember this.
I always remember.
All right, because this is just getting a little too juicy.
It's getting pretty juicy.
We're getting a lot of clarification. And thank you, Tim, because Tim is clarifying a lot of things that we as straight people just think we know
Mm-hmm.
and we don't. And so we're getting it from a perspective of, the other side. So.
Absolutely.
And I have more straight friends than gay. I only have 2 gay friends. I wish I had more.
Mhm.
But they meet me there and they say one thing, they fade away from me.
Mm.
So I want to make it seem like, oh, I'm trying to bash the straight
No,
people. I
no, we're
love
not
the
thinking
straight
that.
people.
But we're going to get back to this because it's getting really, unfortunately, so interesting.
It's getting interesting. It'll
It
just have to be another segment.
It's going to have to be another segment. So I want to thank Gina
Thank you.
for being
you.
here and giving us your input. Tim, once again, thank you.
Thank you.
And
And I want to thank Gina as well.
Oh,
yes.
I just understand you.
Yes,
I
you
do.
really do.
It's
Yes.
going to take a couple more segments, but we'll get it all out. We'll get it all out.
I want to thank my co-hosts, Melon and Steve. You want to give a little?
I just think it was a really interesting show tonight. I had a lot I wanted to say. I didn't say. I felt like we were dropped in. I had all these psychology points I wanted to make. Maybe in the future I'll be able to make them. Maybe I won't. We'll have to see. But what I guess what I would leave it is like, relationships are tricky. They're beautiful. They can be a warm sandy beach, or they can be like a horrendous, torturous experience. And we got to hear a little bit about that tonight. And I think what was cool is just like the sincerity that you both brought, Gina and Tim, around like pain points of the past. And what I learned about that is when people like yourselves can sincerely share about the harder side of relationships, it gives other permission to do the same thing. And that helps people, eventually get more of what they say that they do want, which is, a healthy love relationship and those like beautiful sunsets and sandy beaches. So I particularly admire both of your sincerity in sharing like the soft underbelly at certain points. So
It takes a lot.
maybe we'll do it again,
and the
Lou.
next
Yeah.
segment,
Maybe
we'll
we'll do
talk
it
a little
again.
bit more.
And thanks, Tim, for going deep
Yeah.
Yeah.
and sharing your life, because that takes a lot of guts. And I've known you for 30 years, and I didn't know half the stuff you're telling me now. So
Wow. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Well, with that said, we're wrapping it up, guys. It's a very interesting episode. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Good night.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching and listening. It truly means the world to me. If you enjoy the show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe at Let Loose with Lou on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.